In this video, we are going to see how we are going to develop a Java desktop application. So this will be a very simple application. So here we are having a form to add some user inputs. So then once user click on the save button, so we are going to add this information or the user entered data to the database. But before that, we are going to get some confirmation from the user. So whether this information, that means the user entered values are correct or not. So after that, we are going to save this data to the database, and then we are going to show a success message. So that is what we are going to do in this activity. So the first thing is we need to design this interface. So let's move to this NetBeans IDE. So here first we need to create a Java project. So you can go to File, New Project, and from here you can select Java and go to Java Application, go Next, and remember to untick this Create Main Class option, because here so we are going to develop a desktop application. So then we may have several interfaces. So then we will have one interface as the main interface. So therefore once we design the interfaces, so then we can select what should be our main interface. So therefore in this moment, so we are going to remove this create main class option from this wizard, and then I will give the project name as user add user project. So you can give any name here. Then I will click finish. So now we created the project. So after that I will expand this source package branch. Under that we don't have any source packages, but I will create two packages here. So the packages are to organize our code. So here in the simple project, so I will have some user interfaces, and also I'm going to add some images to organize these images and user interfaces into different folders. So I will use two packages here. First one is I will name it as UI, and this is to add some user interfaces. And again I will have another package, so I will name it as images to add the images. So now I'm going to create my first UI. So I can right click on this package, UI package, and I can go to new, and from this option list, so I'm going to select JFrame form. So why we need to select a JFrame form? Here we are going to develop a GUI based desktop application. So in Java, so when you're going to implement or develop a GUI based desktop application, the first thing is we need to have a top level container. So we discussed that in Java, so we are having three types of top level containers. One is JFrame, other one is JDialog, other one is JApplet. So here, so we are going to use JFrame form. So that is the top level container. So I will add it now, and I will give the name as add user here, and I will click finish. So then you can see the JFrame window is available on the NetBeans IDE. So now I'm going to design it. So this is what I need to design. So here I'm having a small image here, and three labels, and three text fields, and a save button. Okay, and a button, so its value is save. So first I'm going to add this image. So I can use a label, swing controller label. I can drag and drop it here like this, and after that I'm going to the properties window. From here you can see there's a property called icon. Okay, so I will go into that one, and I'm going to browse. I'm going to select image. So I don't have any images, so therefore I'm going to export external image. Okay, so I'm going to import. So I will go to my desktop and I'm going to select the image from here, and I'm going to add these images into images package, and then I will click finish. Okay, so now this is my image. So I'm going to add this image into this label. So this additional text, I'm going to remove it like this. Okay, so now this is my image. So after that, I need to have this form. So I'm going to use a panel first, because we know that if you are going to use a panel, so then we can add other components into this panel. So then when you are moving this panel, we can move other components as well. So therefore I will add a panel like this. So then I will add the other components like label. Okay, so here the label means name, so I will edit the text as name. So then I will do small formatting to this label. So again go to properties, and you can see that we are having different types of properties here. I'm going to do some changes to the font, and I will select Times New Roman, bold, and font size as 12. So then I will apply it here. So after that, so I can copy this label and paste. Then I can get a duplicate label like this, and again I can copy and paste. So then I will get another duplicate image like this. But you can see now all the formatting is also copied, so therefore it's easy. So we can format one label if all the labels are in same pattern or same format. So then we can copy and paste. So now so this will be phone number, and this will be email. So now I added these three labels. So according to our interface, so now we need to add text fields. So I'm going to use this text field here. Okay, so I'm going to align it like this, and another text field. Okay, then another text field like this. Okay, so now I added these text fields. So I'm going to remove this default text. Okay, now I need to add a button. So I'm going to add this button. So the value of this button is save, and I'm going to do some formatting into this button as well. So I will go to the properties. From here I will select font, and again I'm using Times New Roman, bold, and the font size as 12. So like this. So now this is my interface. So here I added everything into a panel, and I'm going to resize this interface. Okay, like this. So now if I need to display, if I need to see the interface, so view the interface, so I can use this icon. Okay, here you can see we are having an option to preview the design. So once I click it, so it will show the preview like this. Okay, now I'm going to add the title for this window, because in our activity you can see that we are having a title called add user. So I'm going to add that title. So here you need to select the JFrame, and then you can go to the properties, and here you can see under the properties, so we are having something called title. So I'm going to give the title as add user here. So now my interface is now the design part is completed. So then we will move to the next part now. So this is the design. Okay, so I will run the project now. So now you can see it's asking what should be the main class. So here still I'm having only one class, so this will be the first class that I need to run. So therefore I will make this as the main class. So I can click OK. So then it will open like this. Okay, so once you click here like this, so then it will open like this. So now I'm going to the code behind here. Okay, so you can see in the code behind, so we are having these kind of components here, and so these are actually so you can see some auto generated code is there. So under this generated code, so you can see that we are having init component method. So under that you can see all the labels, uh, and text fields, buttons. So that means the components we used already, used components are added as code lines in this one, in this code behind. So now I am going to handle the uh, button event here. So the event means some action that user can do with the user interface. So here we are having a button called save. So once user click on this save button, so we need to save this information to the database. So that is what we need to do. So to handle that event, so now we are going to write some code. So the first thing is you can select this button and you can go to the properties, and from this properties, so you can select event. Under that you can see we are having several types of events. So you can select one of these event, but here our target is to save this data once user click on this one. So the simple so the shortcut to add this event is you can double click on this button. So I will double click on this button like this. So then the NetBeans will automatically generate this code. Okay, so here you can see it's J button 1 action performs. Once we performed an action on this J button 1, so then this method is going to execute. So now this is what we need to do. The first thing is we need to get this information from the UI, because now the user is going to enter values here. So that means the user is going to enter values to the interface. So the first thing is the user entered values we need to get into the code. So to do that, so we are going to use some already built methods. So here what we are going to do, we are going to get these text. Okay, so then the method name is also get text. So it's very easy to remember. So if you need to set something from the code to the interface, so then it's set text. So if you are going to get something from interface to the code, then the method will be get text. So then we need to mention from where we are going to get it, because in this interface we can see that we are having 3 JText fields. From which JText field we are going to get this text. So that is what we need to mention here. So now think that we are going to get the name text. Okay, so therefore first I'm going to create a variable here called name. Now I'm going to tell that, so the name of this JText field is JText field 2. So here you can see the name of this JText field object is JText field 2. So I'm going to call to this JText field 2 and I'm going to call get text method. Okay, so like this I'm going to get phone number and also email. Okay, so the phone number I'm going to get, so this is the phone number. So I will click on this JText field, and once I go to the properties I can see that, okay, so JText field 1, so that is the name. So then I'm going to give the name as JText field 1 and this will be JText field 3. Okay, so like this I'm going to get this data or the user entered inputs to the code. So now in this activity the next part is to show this as a message to the user, confirmation message before saving. Okay, to do that we can use show confirmation dialog option or dialog method, which is there under J option pane. Okay, so therefore now I'm going to use this J option pane, which is comes under Java Swing, and here, so I'm going to show a confirmation. Okay, so you can see we can easily remember these methods. So we are going to show a confirmation message here. So therefore we are going to use show confirm dialog. So in this show confirm dialog, so we can see that we are having 4 constructors here. So I will go to the last one, which is having many, it is having a large number of parameters. So once you go to this one, you can see the documentation, the document, this means the information about this method is available here. Okay, so here you can see this is the method, and this method, so we are actually getting several parameters. So if you need to know what are these parameters, so you can go down. Okay, so then it's telling that, okay, parameter, first one, parent component, so that means determines the frame in which the dialog is displayed. If null, or if the parent component has no frame, a default frame is used. Okay, so then you can see what are the values we can pass here. And the second one is the message. So message means what we need to display. Okay, and the title means the dialog window can have a title. Okay, so in our activity also you can see, in our activity also this dialog window is having a title called save data. So this is the message. Okay, you entered name, phone number, email, so this is the message. Okay, and this is the title. And then again the other things. So here you can see we are having other parameters like option type. Okay, so what kind of options we need to have here, whether yes no button only, whether yes no cancel, or whether okay cancel. So what kind of buttons that we need to have. Other one is the message type. Okay, so message type means which kind of which type of message, whether it's an error message, whether it's an information message, whether it's a warning message. So likewise we can tell which kind of message we are going to have. Okay, so likewise, so we can see the parameters available under this show confirm dialog 1. And then we can see the return value. So the return value means an int indicating the option selected by the user. So that means once user select a button, so then int value of that button will be returned from this method. So therefore we can if we can cache that value, so then we can do further things with that value. Okay, so therefore you can see that the documentation is available. So you can go into the documentation and you can get some idea about how to use these methods, because these are already implemented methods. So therefore we are not going to do any modifications to these methods, so we are just going to use it. Okay, so when you are going to use it, first thing is you need to have some idea about what kind of things that we need to pass, what are the parameters we need to send, and how it's going to behave, and after that what type of data it returns. Okay, so that means what type of thing that we are actually getting after executing this method. So here it's a int value. Okay, so now I'm going to use this method. The first thing is in top of which frame that we need to show it. So it's telling that we can use null, so then the default frame will be used. And after that we need to have the message. Still we didn't construct the message, so therefore first I will construct the message here. So I will create string object call message. So here so this is what we need to display here. You entered and here you can see now we are going to the next line, and next line is an empty line, so therefore we need to have 2 new lines here. So I will use 2 new line characters, and then I'm going to add the other text. So the text is so I need to add the name, and here name means the user entered name, so then I will add the variable like this, and again I need to add the new line character, and then so I'm going to have I'm going to show phone number, and also email, like this. And after email, you can see again we are having an empty line, so therefore I will use two new line characters here. And then I'm going to add the next part, so that is do you want to save this data, so that message like this. Okay, so like this we are going to construct this message object. So I'm going to add this message object like this. So after that, what after that we can add a title. Okay, so what's the title here? Save data. So this is the title of the dialog box. So after that we can add what type of message is this. So here this is a no after that we can add the options, so we will see. Yes, so this is the documentation. So you can see after the title, so this is the title. Okay, after the title, so option type. Okay, so we can have yes no option, yes no cancel, okay cancel. So likewise we are having different types of options, but in our interface we are having yes no only. So therefore we are going with option pane yes no option. Okay, so after that we can tell what type of message is this. So this is a question type message. Okay, because we are asking a question from the user, so therefore we can tell that. So this is a question message like this. Okay, so that's it. You can see this is how we are going to have this show confirm dialog. So in this one I told you that this will return an int value. So if we can cache that int value, or if we can save that int value, so then we can use this we can use this int value in future. So therefore I'm going to create an int variable here, and I will name it as choice. So I'm going to save it here like this. Once user click on yes button, then only I'm going to save this information, otherwise I'm not going to save. Now what we are going to do, we are going to control the structure of this code. Why? So here we are asking whether this information is correct. If this is correct only, we should save it, otherwise we should not. So now we need to control our code. So that is what we are doing in the control structures. So we discussed about the control structure. So here we are going to use a one control structure, so that is if condition, because if user click on yes button, then only we are going to save it. So therefore I'm going to use if. Okay, so if this choice is equal to j option pane yes option. Okay, so if user click yes option, so then only we are going to save this data to the database. Okay, so otherwise we are not going to save it. So this is what we did. Okay, first we got the user entered data to the code, and we saved those data under three different variables, and after that we construct a message which we are going to display to the user through this show confirm dialog. And after that we created this show confirm dialog. So here this is already implemented one. So what we did, actually we used it. Okay, so we read the document documentation, and after that, according to the documentation, we pass the parameters, and then the documentation is having what type of value is it's going to return. It's going to return an int value, so therefore we are having an int variable here, and we are going to save the return value under this int variable. So after that, we need to check whether this user click on the yes button or other button. Okay, so if the user click on the yes button only, we are going to save the data, otherwise we are not going to save the data. So therefore, so here we are going to control the structure of this code by using a if condition. So this is a control structure. If is a control structure. Okay, so here we are going to use choice. So that is what we saved in the previous statement or the previous command, whether this choice is equal to yes option. So if it is equal to yes option, that means a user already click on the yes button. So then we are going to save the data to the database. So now we will run this application and we will see how it's going to work. Okay, so I will give the name, and you can give any number. Okay, so like this we can give it, and I'm going to click on this yes button. So once I click on this yes button, you can see now it's open in this dialog window. Okay, so you can see that we didn't design this one, this is already implemented one. What we did, we customized it. Okay, so we customized means we added a title, we add the message that we are going to display, and we add this this as a question type message, and also we customize that we need to have only yes no buttons. So likewise we customize it. Okay, so that is one advantage we are getting with this Swing library. Okay, so we are having options to customize. So now we customize. So now we can click on this yes button. So once you click the yes button, so we didn't implement the we didn't code the other parts, but once you click on this yes button, it should save data to the database. So with in next video, so we will see how we are going to save this data to the database.